Well, good afternoon, everyone. I was working on this little tutorial when my camera went out and I didn't even know it. So we'll start all over again. But what I wanted to do here in just this short one is talk and show a little bit about depth in the painting. A very simple, short illustration about it all. So what I want to do here is show you and illustrate a little bit on depth in your paintings. So we're just going to take a light green color here, and we're just going to, put in some, this is an illustration, it's not a painting, so don't be looking for any, awesome looking painting here. I'm just doing a very quick illustration to try to discuss and talk a little bit about the idea of depth in a painting. I better get that yellow off my brush or I'm going to have a green sky. Okay, so let's put some, another thing here as I'm wetting this, I don't want to go all the way down to that, to the yellow and green, or I will end up with it in the blue and in the sky. And I don't think this is this is watercolor paper, but it apparently is the back side that I grabbed. My mistake, I'm having one of those days. Okay, so we're just gonna pull some little pretend clouds out, lighten it down here towards the horizon with the paper towel, okay? Because this is not the focal point of this at all right? So I'm going to take my little round brush here, and I'm going to, first of all, we're going to take a little bit of the green and some purple, I guess. Well, no, I'd rather have the blue, okay. And way, in the background, we're going to depict some very light colored, although that didn't come out very light. We're going to take some of that out. Very light colored mountain range, okay? So light we can barely make out that it's back there. It's just so light. Same thing over here. I'm going to just grab some of that color and pull it back to depict some very light, far away mountain ranges. Because if you notice, when you look at the mountain ranges way in the background, you can hardly see them. And then this is our horizon line here. Now, when you have trees or something way in the background, we know they are very, everything kind of gets like this blue color in the background. So I'm going to take very little green and I'm going to use more blue. But I'm going to make a very, very light wash. And way back here, we're going to have this indication. Just an indication is all we want this to amount to. Because it's so far back, is what we're depicting, so far back, that we can barely make out that these are trees on purpose. This is on purpose because we want to depict, we're depicting depth. So way in, if I can talk today, so way in the background here, you're going to have what appears to be some real low and real way far in the background trees, okay? We can barely tell. All right, now I'm going to get a little other color that's going to be a bit darker, and over here, and I'm going to put some more way in the background, but they're becoming a bit more, I need to get some water here. And I'm going to be, I still need a lot of water because I want them to be closer up than these, but they're still pretty far away, so I'm still not being able to make them out very well. We can tell that they're trees. We can tell that, you know, there's some trees there that they're coming forward closer to us, because that's what happens. I'm going to make a little bit of, we need something for the trees to be sitting on there. Some ground. Okay. This is a very simple depiction, people. This is nothing, you know, perfect or anything like that, and it isn't intended to be. Okay, so we're going to get some darker now. Make it even darker. I'm going to add a little blue into the green to make it even darker. And then, let's see. And then here, I'm going to make ones that look like they're a lot closer. And as you can see, they're a lot more distinct. I can see the tops of the trees, the point of the trees, so to speak. You know, I can actually depict that they're trees. I mean, back there, we're not sure. We because I'm telling you that they're trees, you can say, oh yeah, those are trees. But if you just had to look, you might say, well, what is it? What, you know, what's it supposed to be? So as everything comes closer, it gets a lot more prominent, a lot more detailed, a lot darker in color. That makes sense, I hope. And then over here, I'm going to darken it up even more. Get some trees going on that are maybe like in here. But they're coming forward even more. They're even closer to us. You can tell that, right? Get some darker color. You can tell that. It's closer to you. I might even go so far as to use this fan brush and make these trees have, give these trees some detail. So let me get some other green going on, and I'm going to use the fan brush because the fan brush is great for details, for foliage and trees and things. So now I'm actually depicting, right? These really are starting to look like trees now because they actually look like they've got some foliage on them and other things, right? Darker, more defined. Put a little bit of okay, so you can see the depth happening here. Now we're going to take this round brush again, and I'm going to put a tree very close to the front. Well, if I can get the color out. Just having one. Lately, I've been having these funky kind of days. Okay, there we go. So we got a nice dark color. So I'm going to put something right about here. It's not going to be it's not going to be the closest tree because I'm going to put even another one closer. But that one's, you know, pretty close. So we're going to make it pretty dark, defined. We can define it now. It's pretty close to us. We can pretend to put some branches. I don't want to get into all that. I'm just, you know, as I said, we're just depicting depth. We're not doing a painting. Okay, so we'll let that dry for a little bit. So now you can see how that in itself, put some shadow there. That in itself came in front of and looks closer to. You feel like it's a lot closer, right? The other things, most of them, you feel like they're pretty far away. And you're supposed to, because they are pretty far away. And that's, we're depicting depicting that in our painting. We're showing the depth. into the painting. Just added a little bit of highlight there, which actually is wrong side, sorry. Let's go back and put this, I got carried away. Let's put the dark color in again. And then get a little white on this side. It would be this side because I did the shadow there, remember? So the light side would have to, kind of have to be over here. So there we go. And then I can take a flat brush and just with some paints and hardly no water and scrub in some, with what's on my brush here, scrub in some foliage. It's quite closer, right? We can, and we'll even take the fan brush, which is great for that kind of thing. And we'll even get some depiction of, well, come on, depiction of branches and little leaves, all right, and of foliage. So that looks pretty close and it looks pretty real and it's defined. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, take a look at that for a minute and just see the difference. We did far away, make them even look further away. There we go. Far, far away mountains, then set of trees that you can barely tell. Then behind that tree, of course, was the other set of trees coming forward a little bit more. These here depicting forward even more. We can even do that even a little bit more because they're quite a bit more forward. Okay, right close. Then this tree, which is real close, really, really close. You know, like I'm standing next to this tree, it's so close. It's right, you know, I can touch it. All right. Then what we're going to do, one more tree. I'm going to do this actually with the flat brush first, so you can get a good idea of what I'm saying. Put a little color, this color. And right here, you should never put anything like that, a tree or something, right? It should kind of veer away from, it's the rules of painting. Try not to put an object right in the center. So right about here, I'm going to put a very big, I just keep thinking of Bob Ross. We will be brave and let's put a big tree, a big, huge tree right here, he'd say. And boom, he'd put it in. So that's what we're doing, folks. We are mimicking, so to speak, Bob Ross, and you can tell, right, that tree is the closest thing to us. Nothing else in this particular painting is as close as this tree at this point, and you can tell that, right? So that's a good thing of what I wanted to depict today. This would be our closest object. We can make out the branches. We can make out, the tree. We can put in some. Let's go to some. Oh, it was flipped over. No wonder I couldn't find it. Okay, let's get some of this light color here, and we'll add it into the tree because now this is our that's our light side. We can go back into the darker color and put it on this side. Even make a black if you wanted. It doesn't matter as long as you depict that's the darker side, okay? And then with that, the foliage is even going to be more obvious, detailed. So I'm going to take the fan brush, and with the fan brush, I'm going to come in here and we've got, wow, that was pretty dark. That's okay. We're going to, first of all, we're going to use it in the darker colors. Either way, it doesn't matter. I just happened to grab those and it was by mistake, so no problem. Get some light and put it in, but I can see the actual details of the branches. See, and a fan brush is great for this. It really just grabs the the detailness. This is a very long handle to this brush, and I keep hitting my holder. So you see what I'm saying here? Let's get a little bit of red. And we'll add it. You can see the detail, see? With this brush, it makes such beautiful detail. So this tree, as you can tell, is absolutely closer than some of the other trees. You can really see the details in the tree. So I really hope, you guys, that you really did grasp that whole concept, putting depth in your trees, in everything. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say just trees. In everything, putting depth in your mountains, in your trees, into your foliage, into everything, to finally come right up to the front, which is this one, which is the closest to us. But your eyes just go back. They keep going back. If I didn't have everything quite, when I get in a small space like this, I'm not that used to painting on real small areas. But anyway, if I hadn't made the tree quite so big, but I did that on purpose, then you'd see the other things we put first. But it was a step by step by step from the beginning of the video to this point to show you the closest thing to you is this tree, and the rest goes backwards. So I hope this was helpful in some way to you guys. Just try it out yourself, watch it a few times so you can grasp the understanding of what, the point of what I'm making, which is the showing depth in your paintings. It's really not all that hard at all, and it's just a matter of learning it and learning the concept. If you look into a field or anywhere in the woods or any place into the sky, with a field and the sky and so forth, you just keep looking, and you'll see, once your eye gets trained for things, you see it when you didn't before. It's amazing when you paint, things just start literally coming alive. Especially the more and more you learn, and I do hope that you are all learning and trying things out, and you can take your time. I mean, sometimes it's easier to and better to just listen, learn, watch for a long time until you feel like you're ready to actually paint, and then go slowly and do small things. You don't have to go big. You don't have to paint a whole painting by any means at first. So check out my other stuff, folks, and have a really awesome rest of your day. Bye for now.